Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we are continuing our collab series with Vegan Saiyan. What if Turles was Bardock's brother? If you haven't already seen the first two parts, the playlist will be linked in the description. And once you're done with this one, go check out the next part, which should be out on Vegan Saiyan's channel once this video is released. But with that being said, let's jump straight into part 3. After seeing the death of one of his men from the Crusher Core, Turles becomes enraged. He gets somewhat of a boost, but is still thrown to the side by Frieza, who is just too powerful for anyone currently in the battle. Thankfully, Piccolo shows up having fused with Nail, and is able to beat Frieza down until he goes into his third form. Here we would see Vegeta, Nappa, and Turles all be blasted by their comrades, and be healed by Dende, while Piccolo is distracting Frieza. And so Frieza would eventually go into his fourth form like he did in canon, and easily kill Dende. So now there is no hope of anyone being healed again. Turles, Nappa, and Vegeta all charge in to attack the Tyrant, being able to catch them off guard with their attacks, and do a little bit of damage, since they got stronger from healing. But since Frieza is still holding back, he can just power up more when they start winning, allowing for him to beat them swiftly once again. It is then that Vegeta realizes Nappa and Turles still have their tails unlike him, so he decides to create an artificial moon, making the two transform into Uzarus. They begin to attack Frieza with all their power, overwhelming him quickly. However, once again, Frieza is able to power up and begin defeating them. He then slices their tails off to make sure they can't do that to him again. The two Saiyans revert to their base forms, and Vegeta tries to charge in, but is death beamed through the chest. Goku then arrives to bury Vegeta and fight Frieza for the first time. His power level would be higher than in canon though, at about 5 million, so when he uses the Kaioken times 20, it'll be at 100 million. This is much closer to Frieza's full power, allowing for all of his attacks to deal much more damage, but he isn't able to use that technique for very long, since it drains him so much. This eventually forces him into using a Spirit Bomb, and so here, Turles can see Goku charging up an insanely powerful attack to save the universe and kill Frieza. He's doing what his father could not do before. This inspires Turles to act fast, asking for Days and Almond to give him their energies. So now he and Piccolo both attack Frieza with all their power in order to distract him for Goku. This leads to the Spirit Bomb being formed and it hitting Frieza, dealing an insane amount of damage to him. The remaining squad thinks that they've finished him off for now, and Turles is proud of his nephew. However, Frieza returns with one arm destroyed. He uses his other one to easily blast a hole through both Days and Almond, killing the last of Turles' men. And not only that, to deal damage to Goku, he lifts Krillin into the air and blows him to pieces as well. This enrages both Goku and Turles, who both go blind as they power up to a seemingly unstoppable degree. Goku's hair turns gold over time, while Turles is struggling to make that happen. However, with his rage, he's able to tap into that power just barely, allowing for both he and Goku to go Super Saiyan. Turles rushes in at Frieza while Goku tells the others to escape while they finish this. The two Super Saiyans proceed to easily body Frieza, with Turles showing no mercy whatsoever. However, as Turles is about to finish the job, he falls to the ground in his base form. The strain was just too much for him, as he wasn't quite as strong as Goku. This leads to the rest of the fight taking place as per normal, with Frieza barely surviving, and Goku taking Turles to Yardrat with him. Oh yeah, and everybody else is brought back and teleported to Earth. This includes the Crusher Core, Vegeta, and all the Namekians. This is because of Earth's Dragon Balls being used to bring back Namek's Dragon Balls, and then they bring everybody back to Earth. The Nameks all proceed to hang around Earth until Porunga is able to send them to New Namek. This still leaves Vegeta, Nappa, and the Crusher Core though. After they find out Turles and Goku are still alive from Shenron, they decide to begin their real training on Earth. Meanwhile, on Yardrat, the two Saiyans recover from their fight with Frieza. Turles has great satisfaction in knowing that the man who brought his entire race is now dead, but little does he know that that is not the case. Anyway, Turles is curious to train with Goku and the Yardrats to unlock further power. However, he assures Goku that he has no intention of ever turning to the light. And so, the two train, learning how to better utilize their Super Saiyan forms, and also learn instant transmission. After a year and a half passes, they begin sensing 3 very powerful energies on Earth. Frieza, someone similar to him, and also a mysterious energy that is not familiar. Turles is very angry to learn that the former Emperor is alive, and so he quickly uses instant transmission to arrive on Earth. After showing up, Turles goes Super Saiyan and knocks future Trunks aside, looking directly in Frieza's eyes. The two both begin talking smack to one another, and everyone else watches on. Eventually they start fighting, which is honestly a pretty close match. Future Trunks realizes this and decides that he doesn't want to wager their survival on this random guy. so he goes Super Saiyan and attacks King Cold as well. Trunks is easily able to defeat him like he did in canon, and quickly goes to help Turles. However, Turles yells for him to stay out of this and blasts him to the ground. Trunks gets back up and tries to reason with him, but Turles has none of it. This makes the young Super Saiyan angry, as Turles is currently jeopardizing everything. And so he charges in to attack him, kicking him to the ground. He then sets his eyes on Frieza and slices him apart with his sword before blasting him to nothing. After seeing this, Turles becomes infuriated that his kill was stolen by some random chump, and so he screams out as he fires a barrage of purple ki blasts toward Trunks. But he is able to cut through most of them with his sword, showing that Turles is outmatched here. However, Turles simply put his fingers to his forehead and teleported behind Trunks, and this caught the boy off guard, so Turles was able to kick him to the ground and take his sword. He then puts the blade toward the kid's neck, slowly pushing it down, but he is thankfully stopped when the sword is smacked out of his hands. This is none other than Goku. He looked at Turles and started questioning him on why he was acting in this manner, but Turles simply blew it off and walked away. Trunks then got back up and told Goku about the androids and the heart virus, giving him the medicine as well. Before leaving, the future warrior looks over at Turles and tells Goku that he needs to get that guy in check before the androids show up. If he messes one thing up, everything could be doomed. Goku accepts this, and so Trunks goes back to his timeline. Everyone now decides that they have to train intensely over the next 3 years, and Goku encourages them all to train with each other. However, this doesn't work for pretty much anyone, as it didn't in canon either. So everyone's training regimens would be the same as in canon, except that Vegeta is now training with Nappa as well, and Turles is with the rest of the Crusher Corps. So by the time the androids arrive, Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta will all be stronger than in canon. Turles, Nappa, and the Crusher Corps are also very powerful as well. So after the group meets up, they all split off, eventually leading to Yamcha running into androids 19 and 20. The Z-Team senses this, and tries to rush in to help, which leads to Turles and Goku both fighting the two androids. Our main hero is struggling more due to his heart virus while fighting Gero, while Turles is easily defeating Android 19. After Goku succumbs to the virus, he is taken home by Yamcha. Turles then starts 2v1ing both androids, but after 19 dies, Gero tries to escape. He is stopped by Vegeta and Nappa, both in Super Saiyan now due to their intense training. Turles then flies to them, thinking that they are trying to steal his prey. He asks them what they're doing, and begins talking smack to the two Saiyans. This leads to a violent encounter between Turles and the Crusher Corps versus Vegeta and Nappa. Turles will be able to hold his own here when his squad is distracting Nappa, but once they are knocked down, Turles is beaten by both Saiyans. However, this fighting allowed Gero to escape and release 17 and 18. The two then kill Gero and bring Android 16 out as well. Future Trunks then arrives to see all of this is wrong, and he's confused as to how he can fix it. Vegeta then begins his fight with Android 18 like in canon, but this time he actually has an equal fight with her. He is much stronger due to his training with Nappa, and so he will be able to match her pretty much blow for blow. However, his stamina would be wearing down, so 18 would start getting the advantage over time. After realizing this, Future Trunks tries to help his father, which causes 17 to stop him. Seeing the other android attack one of their own leads to Nappa and the Z-Fighters all jumping the two androids as well. Turles, still being conscious, even joins in to help take the androids down. And while this does put the two androids on the back foot, once they're able to defeat Vegeta and Trunks, they focus their targets on everyone else, and this leads to a much easier fight for them overall, so they body everyone before leaving. Now the Z-Fighters don't really know what to do, so they wait for Goku to recover from the heart virus and hope that he has an idea. Piccolo goes off to fuse with Kami, while the Crusher Corps all decides to train hard with the little time they have. Eventually, Goku is able to tell the squad about the time chamber, so Vegeta and Trunks both go in. Meanwhile, Piccolo and 17 have their battle, with Piccolo having a slight advantage at the beginning due to his increased strength. But this slowly becomes a fight in favor of 17, as Piccolo's stamina is whittled down over time. Cell eventually arrives, knocking Piccolo into the ocean and quickly absorbing 17. Now that he has one android, he is stronger than anyone else currently on the battlefield. This means the only thing that can hold him down is the Neo Tri-Beam, which Tenshinhan uses to fight him off. However, it doesn't kill him, and he's able to survive it and knock him to the ground. Vegeta and Trunks then arrive, now much stronger due to their training in the time chamber. Vegeta battles Cell using Grade 2, which is easily able to beat him up. However, now Vegeta wants to let Cell absorb 18. This infuriates Trunks, and he begins to try to stop his father, which only leads to him being knocked to the ground. Turles sees Trunks on the ground and runs down to tell him that if he wants Cell to die, he needs to stop his father. That's the only way. Trunks is angry to get advice from a guy like Turles of all people, but he knows that he's right, and so Trunks flies up to Cell and Vegeta once more. Vegeta tells his future son to get lost, but Trunks says that he isn't going anywhere. He then begins powering up, ascending into Super Saiyan Grade 3. Trunks then begins throwing punches at Vegeta, which he's mostly able to dodge. However, remember that Vegeta isn't as fast as Perfect Cell was, so while this form may not be favorable to speed, Trunks' speed normally is still close to Vegeta's. So because of this, one attack would eventually land on Vegeta, leading to him collapsing to the floor, since Grade 3 is far stronger than Grade 2. Trunks then searched the area for Cell, quickly seeing him trying to absorb 18. He flew in, but it was too late, as the android had already absorbed her, just barely before he arrived on the scene. This meant that Cell was now perfect, and could no longer be stopped. After he beats down Trunks, he announces the Cell Games in 10 days and then allows for all of them to leave. Everyone goes to Kami's lookout to wait for Goku and Gohan to exit the time chamber. The two come out a little bit stronger than in canon, now sporting their mastered version of Super Saiyan. So next, Turles and Nappa go in together. The two Saiyans push forward and unlock the stages that the others did and are able to unlock grades 2 and 3. However, Turles wanted to push for more, and so after he left the room of Spirit and Time, he spent some time alone to perfect Super Saiyan. Piccolo went in as well, but Trunks wanted to go in again since he felt like a failure after his fights with both his father and Cell. So Trunks enters with Piccolo, and the two become a lot stronger for it. Vegeta then goes in one time as well, like he did in canon, but Nappa would join him. And after that, since they had some extra time, Turles took all of his men in with him at one time. He knew they wouldn't have enough food for them to last the full year, but they had enough time to make his men much more powerful, and so he trained with them and helped boost their powers far beyond what they were before. So now, with everyone being much stronger, how will the Cell Games take place? Find out now by going to Vegan Saiyan's channel and watching Part 4. It'll be linked in both the comments section and hopefully the description as well. But as always, tell me if you liked this part, go watch Part 4 and find out what happens next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day.